How do you paint the whiskers on a cat? I'm going to show you a couple ways to get them really shining in the sunlight. Painting whiskers today, I'm going to keep the background wet. That way when I come in with my small brush, a little bit of that background color will blend with the light whisker and it'll look like it belongs there. Another advantage to painting whiskers wet on wet is that it won't skip over the top bumps of the canvas and leave a patchy looking whisker. It'll blend into the grooves that are already filled with paint and give you a much smoother line. Now, I don't always do this. Sometimes I'll wait for the background to dry before painting a whisker on, and in that case I'll use some thinner like mineral spirits to make sure that it does get into those grooves. And I'll usually do that if I want a really sharp line. In this case, I want my whiskers to be wispy and whimsical and reaching for whatever it is that Tiberius is looking at here. So I'm going to use a wet background. Now if your background's not wet, you can always blend in a little bit more of the background color to make it nice and wet. Also kind of playing around with the background, adding a little bit more drama. All right, so I've got a small, thin brush using a bright. That edge is going to give me really, really fine control over these whiskers. A little bit of linseed oil, a little bit of medium. It's got to be all in one go for each one of these. I can come back and touch this area up later. But every whisker has to be one stroke. Between each of these, I'm going to load up my brush and dab it off. You'll notice in the reference, these whiskers don't catch the light where they're in shadow behind his nose. I'm not going to start these whiskers right at Tiberius's face. I'm going to start them slightly off. You can tell Tiberius is really interested in what's up here by how forward these whiskers are. Oops. I don't like that one so much. This is another great advantage of using a wet background. Check it out. Never happened. Now it's these ones over here that catch the light the most, so I want to make sure that they come out the brightest. And I get that brightness just by pressing in on my brush. What that does is it stops you from using the pointy tip of the brush, and you get more close down to this area. So you get a thicker line from here to here. There we have it. That is one whiskered kitty. Might do a couple tweaks between now and setting him aside to dry, but I think he's pretty much done. I'm definitely happy with how those whiskers turned out.